Welcome viewers to beautiful Albert Bishop Park. The sun's out, the breeze is picking up, and we're here for the final of the Meninga Cup. The best under 18 talent from across the state, and we see the North Devils hosting South's Logan Magpies. South's progressed to the final with a 40-22 win over Tweed Heads last week, while North's beat Mackay 32-24. I'm your host, Robert Bergen, and with me is former Origin great, Adrian Vowles. Who are you looking forward to today, Adrian?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a great match. I think two sides that I think Norths obviously are undefeated in this competition, but Souths have got a really good side. I'm probably looking forward to the battle of the halves for Norths and Corey Paix and Joshua James, and for South Paul Karatuana and Tanah Boyd. I think those four individuals really hold the key to what their side's doing as we see that North Devils side there. I just think they're very classy players, and they'll decide the future of their teams.
Sure, while we've got the teams up, we might just run through them. So number one, Dejana Arce has actually been replaced by 18 Manasi Kaho. We've got Logan Finn and Fruin Easthope on the wings. Jack Patterson and Brock Dimmond in the centres. In the halves, as Adrian has said, we've got Corey Paix and Joshua James. Up front, Ethan Bullymore, Ethan LeBlanc at hooker, Jordan Riki, the other prop. At second row, Nesta Watini, Sosefa Filippini, and Lachlan Luce locking the scrum. On the bench, we've got Zach Maguire, Zach Brooks, Tristan Powell, Tavita Offengowie, Xavier Fletcher has dropped out, along with Alex Timo and Byron Wilcox. So they're out. Interesting one there, Dejana Arce. I believe he had a bit of a hip injury, and there was a cloud coming into this game also over their prop Jordan Riki. They talked about him having an injury at work. He's a landscape gardener, and apparently got back spasms and had to leave work, collapsed early on Thursday. So big scare for the North's coaching staff.
Well, we know that he's a hard worker. If he's a landscaper, he's a hard worker. And we also know he's going to be very strong, and he'll certainly lead his forward pack.
And we can see the South Logan team now. At number one, Fanitesi New. Number two is Levi Sutton. 3, Ezra Colston. Number 4, Uani Suiuli. Number 5 is Junior for now. Number 6, Paul Karatuana. Number 7, Tanah Boyd. Number 8 is Amosi Takiri, cousin of former Australian and Queensland winger Lottie Takiri. Number 9 is Jet Trembath. Number 10, Lance Bagan. Number 11 is Vincent Takataka. 12, David Fifita. We'll have a chance to talk more about him later, but a lot of eyes watching him. Number 13, the lock from PNG, Cruz 10. On the bench, you've got Bailey Bartley, Isaiah Runga Iti, Callum McDonald, and Tanah Vakatail. Yeah. Coached by Jace Van Dyke.
Jace Van Dyke's been there and done that, hasn't he, as a player? And I read the story during the week how he said he'd flogged him in the preseason, hoping to lose a heap of players, but they all stuck by him, and he had a hard choice to make to get that side, which it's obviously has worked because they're competitive and they made the final, so it's great to see.
I'll be interested to see when they line up next to each other, because there's some big boys in either side, but I think for mine, South probably have the edge in pure size. They've got some very big boys in that pack.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, just off air, about Callum McDonald, a 16 areas as we just saw in them for South Logan. You'll see him on the picture there. He's 6 foot, who knows what, 6'7", but he's ex-rugby union player, never played league, but took up rugby league this year because he wanted to have a game, and he's in a final of the Meninga Cup.
I see Amosi Takiri was listed at 138 kilos last year. He looks like he's probably a few kilos down on that, but gee, wouldn't you? That'd be handy at age 18.
Well, I came into grade in the NRL in the grade as 80 kilos. Yep. So these kids today, 80 kilos, the halfbacks are bigger than that.
We're getting ready for the home side, North Devil, to run onto the field. Adrian mentioned they're undefeated, and when these two teams met in round 3 of the Meninga Cup, North Devils prevailed 30 points to 16. Last week when they played Mackay, they were up 26-0 and then let Mackay back in. So that 32-24 scoreline is a bit deceiving because Norths were well in the driver's seat early in that match. They do tend to be quite clinical in their approach and start fast out of the blocks. A nice nice contrast of styles, and interesting to see if they can contain David Fifita, which Tweed did really well last week.
Yeah, as we saw last week, they did contain David, and I'm sure Norths have had a look at that vision and probably worked out a game plan around doing the same today. But I just think this is going to be a great match, and yeah, if South really need to contain Norths early and then try and finish strong, but otherwise I think it's going to be a very close match.
So Joshua James getting ready to kick off. He's interesting one with Joshua James, the son of an old teammate of mine, Gary James, who was a front rower and halfback who kicked goals. So he's got a bit of everything.
A ball playing front rower.
And we're underway. Straight from the kickoff. So Amosa Takiri, first touch. Oh, he's almost thrown an intercept from the very first play of the game. Scrum down.
Through on East Hope got a hand at that, I'm pretty sure, but it could, as you said, nearly an intercept. But they've shown their hand early, South, that they're going to use the ball, throw the ball around, which is not a bad tactic, but you just got to make sure the passes stick.
Interesting one with the referees here. We just noticed two ex-rugby league players, two tackle players out there officiating today.
Yeah, I think it's good that when you've got referees who have played the game and played at a bit of a higher level as well, I just think they get a bit more of the understanding of the running of the game of rugby league.
Yeah, they're certainly looking fit. So South's trying to work out after that early error. Strong, big leg carry through the middle. This is going to be Fifita's first touch. Oh, runs with arms high. He's shrugged one defender there, but they're taking him towards the sideline.
4 defenders to try and put him to the ground, but too big and too strong. Didn't play the ball properly.
Takiri going for another run. Aspect that most people will pick up here is North's team is laden with talent from Wavell High, and the South Logan team is predominantly from Kebra Park. So it's that old GIO Schoolboy Cup rivalry.
Yeah, they know each other's game back to front, you'd think, but played against each other for many years.
And you'll notice through the game that Tanah Boyd really does set Fifita up, and that's come through years of playing it at Kebra Park together. Norths look like they'll work the channel on this right side. That's Jack Patterson skipping out. He played a NRL trial game earlier this year, played for the Broncos against Wynnum Manly. It was a young team he was playing in, but for a young bloke, that's a good stripe on your shoulders.
Yeah, it is. It just shows how much big, strong run there from Riki, who you spoke earlier, Rob, under an injury cloud, but he's certainly a big, strong go forward for North's team.
I'd have to say out of the semi-finals last week, he was the standout player, Jordan Riki. Really penetrated through the middle and found his elbows and knees quickly. Aggressive style player. I could see him going through the grades if he progresses at this rate.
Really looking forward to the back three from both teams, Joe. We saw Tessie New last week. He's very good with returning the football, and Levi Sutton then, even his return of the ball was very strong as well.
Yeah, Tessie New really preyed on them when Tweed Heads got tired last week, and he started to use his footwork and chop them back up through the middle. His support plays top notch as well, so definitely one to watch as the game wears on. Tanah Boyd sets Fifita through the middle, but they've contained him there. Good tackle, Lachlan Lewis. Oh, the ball's away.
It was a nice offload from Fifita, and he's big and strong, but you've got to wrap that ball up as well, or he's going to cause you all sorts of dramas.
So Tanah Boyd finds the corner. That's a decent kick. And they've got to work their way out, right off their line.
It's a nice kick from Tanah Boyd. It's another string to his bow. Very good at running halfback, and you want to see that from your halfback. Not only just pass the ball, but take the line on. He certainly did that last week.
He does love to engage the line. Who do you think this breeze is favouring, if anyone, at the moment?
I'm not really sure. It's sort of swirling just sitting here. It's a bit hard. I can't feel it in my hair. I know that for a fact, and neither can you, Rob. So
we
it's
need
hard
a
to get
windsock.
a gauge.
Good offload there, Sosefo Filippini, one of those Wavell High students that we spoke about. Joshua James takes him on up the middle. That's a good gain, about 30 metres there. But it'll be a play the ball to South, changeover.
I just think with a name like Joshua James, you're bound to be a good footy player. It's like an old gunslinger, Joshua James. And as soon as I saw the name, this kid will be able to play.
But as I mentioned, I've seen some Instagram photos of his dad when he's training him growing up, and he built him a full football field in his backyard with little posts and marked out the lines and everything. And it's not a big backyard either, so he's gone the whole hog.
He's never was going to be a soccer player.
Nah. His brother is actually. His brother's a very good soccer player. Yeah. Good. So Pulka turning his player back inside. They're working those angles early. Obviously something they spotted about North that they want to test their inside defence. Tanah Boyd feeds it wide. There's that strong wrestle over the top from Riki. Speaking to the coach, Troy Bishop, former North's player, he had a big rap on second row Nestor Watini. He said he's a tough player, very strong for his age, and he wouldn't be surprised if he plays a bit of Intrust Super Cup before the end of this year.
We saw a kick go through, then an error for North, so South should get the head and feed here from this scrum, which good attacking position, only 48 metres out from the North try line.
Neither side is as clinical perhaps as they'd like to be in the opening start. We saw a good kick by Boyd down into the corner, but other than that, it's probably not been the end to the sets that the coaches would have liked. So South's opportunity over the 40-metre line. There's Fifita.
Great defence from the 9, Ethan LeBlanc.
Amosa Takiri takes 2 men to stop him. Will he get the ball away? No. Trembath, good service out of hooker. With the palm. Ezra Coulston almost getting past his man. And Levi Sutton down the blind. Pulled up short. Spreading the ball wide, play on. There's Cruz 10, the lock. Out to Fifita, this is dangerous position for him. Kick through, can they regather? No, it's well covered there in the corner and they'll have to work their way out again.
There's a nice little kick at the end of that set by Ioni Siuli off a little flick pass off Fifita.
And Jack Patterson taken out in the corner, I think, so... Oh, is that in goal too, so the dropout?
I think South have got the momentum early on in this game and really putting the pressure on North. As we spoke about earlier, North like to really start fast. So it's a lot of pressure on them, and let's see how they come out with another set of 6 against them.
It's a pretty pleasing crowd here today, actually. It's great to see so many people encouraging the younger generation. Mixed results early in the day for North. They did win the Colts reasonably comfortably, but they lost to Mackay 26-10 in the Intrust Super Cup, which has just wrapped up, and that's quite a turn up for the books. North were in second spot on the ladder, so they'll be hoping to buck the trend to finish the day and take home the silverware here. South last year, they lost this final to the Western Mustangs, so they'll be themselves looking to turn things around.
And we have a couple of the Mustangs players in that North side in Dement and Corey Paix. So they'll certainly bring that experience with them into this game.
Corey Paix is an interesting one. I see that the Broncos re-signed him till the end of 2020, so they've certainly got a vision on him for the future. Coulston, he's looked good on his feet so far. Fed out wide, Cruz 10, takes the line, bumps his man, gets the off-road. Tanah Boyd there, fed. And ball down on the ground from Uwali Suli.
Oh, they'll be disappointed about the young Magpies side. They're just trying to build that pressure. They had another set of 6, asking questions all over the park, but just come up with the error at the vital time. And they let off for Norse, and I think really important now Norse get a good set with a good kick on the end of this.
Perhaps we underestimate the nerves. These players, as we mentioned, they all are all under 18s players. Can you remember playing some big games when you were that age? It's
Yeah.
a different mindset, isn't it?
I think you pump, sometimes when you're younger, you pump yourself up too much for games, and you end up, burning all that energy before you get on the field. But a lot of these kids have been in big games, be it via school, and some have played in these finals before.
Yeah. We did mention that the boys from Keeper Park, they beat Westfields High in the GIO final last year, so they're coming in as national champions. That would certainly give them a bit of confidence. Slow play the ball. He's looking for the penalty, and I think he's got, yep, the referee's given that one. So North's chance to get out after a sustained period down this end.
You can't really pull the wool over the referee's eyes, when they've only just finished playing really last year.
Yeah.
So they know all the tricks of the trade. Makes it a bit unfair.
So tap and sent wide straight away. Is that Lachlan Lewis or... Yes, Lachlan Lewis in the middle, followed up.
Strong run there by Bullimore.
So Bullimore, he's a Broncos kid, and he got an OP1 last year at Nudgee. So
I tell you
your
what,
typical footballer.
you could nearly get kicked out of the front rowers union for having an OP1. Is that allowed even?
Good work there, Paix. Josh James shapes to kick, then passes. Patterson, dangerous, and he looks like he's gone over. And referee Schwartz awards that, so Norths will be the early leaders. 11.5 minutes gone, and they'll be up 4-0.
It was a nice finish from Patterson out wide. And it's funny, South have had all the running in this game thus far, and Norths have come pretty much 100 metres down the other end of the field to score the first points of the game through Jack Patterson, the 3 for Norths out wide.
Yeah, and Josh James, a bit of deception early there. He did look like he was going to chip to the corner.
Yeah, it was a nice long ball from Joshua James. Dummy to kick, saw a bit of space out wide. Still a lot of work to do by Patterson. Twists and turns.
So there's 3 defenders there.
Gets over for the first try for the North Devils. Takes them to 4-0.
So lining this up is Paix. Difficult kick in this win from out wide.
I thought Paix last week really controlled that right-hand side for North. He's very dominant when he wants the ball, and he scored a couple of tries down that side as well.
Good little organiser, turns them back inside, takes the line on. And a little curve, but not enough. So Norths maintain that position at 4-0.
Coach Troy Bishop will be very happy defensively with his North side. They had to take a bit of heat down their end, and they've come through it, and then, as I said, gone nearly 100 metres to score down the other end of the field. So he'll be very happy with his team, and South know that if they've got to keep that pressure on, they've got to hold the footy.
Shows you how pivotal the penalty is there, because that's really what took them from one end of the field to the other. And a big deep kick, and they've let it bounce. So it'll be Norths to drop out. Cardinals in from the restart.
It's all a learning curve, isn't it, rugby league?
Yeah.
You're on top 1 minute, and next minute something like that happens, and all of a sudden you're under pressure. And unfortunately, that's the game of rugby league. And a really big defensive set here. They don't want to score a try and then let South straight back into this game.
And Joshua James drop kick out about 43 metres. Collected, and Mosa Takiri's going to run that big frame straight back up the middle.
Now his brother is at Elia, I think it was. He's only a little fella, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is. There's a good story that relates to that is number 14 for North is Zach Maguire, and he's the brother of Josh Maguire. And he's actually a twin, Zach. His brother Michael just missed out on this team.
Good shot.
But he's a front rower and Zach's a hooker.
Someone ate all the food, at the dinner table, I'd say.
It sounds like Michael and Josh got to the table first.
Some big hits here for Norse. Really stopping them in their tracks. I love seeing a good shot.
That's Lance Bagon. Slow play the ball again. That's a sharp little kick, but he's worked his way out. Is he going to? No. Penned back.
Manasi Kohu, that was well read. He saw they were going to put the kick through, picked it up perfectly. He still had a lot of work to do to get out of his in goal and got through and beat a couple of defenders.
Got to say, perhaps that back injury to Jordan Riki is pinching him a bit. He hasn't taken a run in this set, and that's something he was doing last week. He was really laying the platform.
Anyone who's had a back injury,
Here we go.
They know that they're terrible things to have, and particularly when you're young and you probably haven't had an injury as such, it certainly can play on your mind.
Paix, swirling kick down the left side of the field. They've let it bounce. Tanah Boyd has regathered. And they'll get to play the ball 35 metres out from their own try line.
Yeah, quite good field position. That kick came off the side of his boot, but no one would want to catch it. It was swirling. The breeze is pretty strong here. Probably, I still don't know his favourite. Maybe Norse a little bit, but it certainly held up.
It's a tricky one to judge, and we saw the game before this.
Good run.
There's 3 or 4 different balls that were let bounce off the boot, so not just the youngsters that are letting it go.
Good run from the number 9 for South Trembath. He really got out and found space.
Well, Fifita with a grubber through. He's regathered. Referees will not play at, so that'll be a changeover. And they're only about 3 metres off their line, Norths.
Sometimes you don't always get the result with a kick, but they're in pretty good position to defend against Norse, pretty well on their own try line, so they need to muscle up. Here the Magpies, as Norse go a little bit wider. They look dangerous when they just play on the edges of the ruck, Norse.
As I said, South have probably got a bit of a size advantage straight through the middle, so those fringes are going to be tested.
Go, Vinny, go, Vinny!
Especially when you've got the likes of Patterson out there that you can set free. Lachlan Lewis currently unsigned by any NRL club, but apparently there's a few looking at him. So wide to Patterson. He's taking some stopping today.
Yeah, he looks dangerous every time he gets the ball, Patterson. Good footwork.
James gives Paix plenty of space. Tessie New up to the task at the back, but called offside.
Good take from Tessie Yu. That the wind holds the ball up quite a deal. And he took it with ease and then gets the penalty for his troubles as well.
Let's see how this kick goes in the wind. Tanah Boyd going to this side, fairly straightforward. And he's hit the commentary van.
Nearly broke the bus.
It's like the old days in the backyard. Watch out for the car.
Yeah, you always had to dodge something, didn't you?
Good shape out the back there from South.
I'd like to see South come more to try their left a little bit more. They're always going to their right, and Norse are probably expecting that with Fifita out there. I'd like to see him hit their left a little bit more and ask a couple of questions over here.
I did feel that last week. The Boyd to Fifita play did become a bit predictable, and that's why Tweed were effective. They could get up quick.
Backwards, backwards.
Just as I say that,
Yep, they've come the other side, but the ball's ruled to be knocked back there. Lance Bagon, he likes that little spot there. That's a couple of times we've seen him hit towards the left post. Cruise 10, and he's over. So we've got the equaliser there. Just a touch over 19 minutes in.
Again, good work from Jet Trembath. I actually thought he could have, we'll see the replay in a second, but I thought he actually nearly could have gone himself, Jet Trembath. He was put him in two minds.
Yep.
Put
So Lachlan
Lachlan Lewis. He had to make a decision. I think if Trembath actually would have dummied, he would have gone over untouched. Great work from the number 9.
And Cruz 10. He's not the biggest bloke out there, but he's definitely playing with everything he's got.
You love that about rugby. I just love that about rugby league. You can play, you know, all shapes and sizes, and you can play the game. I know there's this big push now. They've got to be 6 foot over 100, but I just love when the smaller guy gets stuck in and really works hard and makes a name for himself. And he's certainly doing that. Cruz 10, a very tough young fella.
He's from the Waterford Demons, which is down in the Logan area. And mentioned earlier of PNG heritage. So we always get a lot of viewers from PNG, whether it's Intra Super Cup or Meninga. So hi to everyone watching from PNG. Tanah Boyd with the conversion, and that'll put South Logan ahead, 6 points to 4.
Yeah, great people over in PNG. I mean, lucky to call those PNG games the last few years. We see the replay again. He gets out, just makes everyone interested, and that creates a problem. Makes the defender, puts the defender in two minds. He's got to make a decision. Unfortunately, he just couldn't quite stop the South player.
How are you seeing it at the moment, Adrian? Do you think there's a distinct advantage from either side in any particular area?
Oh, no, as I said, I think South are probably going a little bit too much to their right, but I think they're pretty even. I think both are making good yards. The halves are doing their jobs. Some hard running, as we see there.
So that's that Isaiah Runga Iti, local Souths junior. And it is a good sign, even though a lot of these players do come from those elite schools, Wavell and Keebra, that the balance of the teams is predominantly local juniors. Just ruled that forward.
Yeah, it was. I was watching it closely. It was a little bit forward, probably a foot forward. He just needed to time his run there. I think Cruz 10, but probably again an error coming off the back of a try, which is not what you want. You want to get to a kick. So again, this time it's South that are under the pump defensively after scoring a good try down the other end.
So Norse are preparing themselves to make a change. Tristan Powell from the Broncos, Nudgee College hopeful. He's looking to come on, but what will they run from this play? Fruin East Hope is in off the wing. Nice.
Looks like they're setting up down this left side. I love seeing attack from scrums. We don't see it enough. It's the hardest place to defend as a centre and a winger from a scrum, and teams do not attack.
Oh, spilt ball. But they've been given a penalty let off here.
That is a let off for Norse, but yeah, don't attack enough from scrums. I'd just love to see a lot more asking of questions at these scrums.
Here's your big fellas about to go on the field, Callum McDonald. So Tristan Powell has gone on for Norse, and we can see Callum McDonald and Bailey Bartley warming up for South Logan. Norse goes from hooker. Over 5 metres to the left of the post. And that is the hooker, Ethan LeBlanc.
Well, I think he's been... I've loved every part of his game today, Ethan LeBlanc. He's been very clever, asked a lot of questions out of dummy half, knows when to run, knows when to pass. Very good. That time he knew when to run. It's sort of, we'll see in the replay. And again, quite a simple try. Looked to pass, sort of fooled everyone.
Fifita's taken his opposite man there. He's well and truly committed himself to a tackle, and LeBlanc's exploited that.
Yeah, I think he threw the dummy and then went, oh, there's a bit of space there for me, and straight over. So there's that error from the first set after the kickoff, and Norse have made the Magpies pay.
Is that a pun on Corey Paix?
Yeah, I didn't think about that till you just said it, but I'll take it.
We mentioned off air there's quite a few player managers around the ground, and we watch this kick and it goes over. So North's up 10 points to 6. But a game like this, we have the standout kids that everyone knows about. But this is also an opportunity for those other boys that might not have a contract to show that they can mix it with that sort of elite company.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like sometimes in life you just need a chance, and you know your chance comes in funny ways. And you know sometimes it just means having a good game, and someone's watching, and you get your chance. And who knows, that could be someone here today.
I remember a story quite a few years ago. Barry Berrigan, when he was playing for West, and Canterbury came up to look at a front rower that day, and they ended up signing him because he scored 2 or 3 tries. So they had no idea who he was at the time. And those are just the little whimsical things that can happen in rugby league that make it a great game to follow.
Yeah, you just need a little bit of luck, and sometimes luck is on your side. And I think the same story, wasn't it, with Shane Webke and Steve Price? Wayne Bennett goes to watch Steve Price play. That was forward, and ends up signing Shane Webke.
Not bad either one. You're probably on a winner there.
Good run from Tristan Powell.
He seems a handy player to have coming off the bench.
Oh.
And that's out on the full.
Yeah,
not that there's going to be much of a ground advantage or disadvantage from that.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to kick it too hard. Came off the side of his boot.
I'll be interested to see if when Callum McDonald stands beside Cruz 10 in a scrum, because he's about twice the height. It looks like one of those babushka dolls where you fold him up and put the other one inside.
Yeah, he's certainly a big unit. You'd hate to be feeding him.
There we see them changing that angle again. I think they'll have some success with that. They've looked a little bit more dangerous and structured when they do that, rather than that straight feed out to the right edge.
And the more tired the defenders become, the more success you'll have as well. This has been a good set so far.
Both these teams did fade a little in the second half against their opponents last week, so it can be exploited as the game goes on. Tanah Boyd steadies him to the left side. That's a dangerous kick, and oh, he's thrown that, but it's gone dead. So situation averted there.
Well, it was good work from Manasi Koho. He read it well again. He's done that a couple of times this game. Probably didn't need to give everyone a heart attack here and try and throw that ball, but he did well to grab it. It was under quite a bit of pressure, and he's certainly making the fullback spot his own today after filling that spot through injury.
Yeah, he's got big boots to fill. Dejan Arce, Australian touch representative, is a New Zealand schoolboy, I believe. And a key player in the side, and to come in at late notice and make it your own is a tough thing to do.
Oh, good offload from Cruz 10.
Tanah Boyd, fast hands, but lacking the accuracy, and that'll come back.
It's just been that final pass out wide, or particularly on their right-hand side, that's let the Magpies down. I think if they can just don't get a little as giddy with the footy and just hang on to the footy and take the ball, and then play the next play after that, they'll get a bit more, get a little bit more joy. But that was a nice offload. And it was a good run as well from Cruz 10.
We've seen the hands, Tanah Boyd and Trembath, that you've spoken quite highly of. The speed of their passing has been a standout on that side. We haven't seen too many opportunities created, but they're certainly getting them on the back foot.
Brock Dement, I thought he had a strong game last week as well. Good, strong runner of the ball, and that's what you want from your backs, coming in, making those yards, giving your forwards a rest.
And for those viewers who don't usually watch Meninga Cup, it is 35-minute halves. So we've got about 6.5 minutes remaining.
They were quite lucky. I thought that was a forward pass, but referee Swash has got him for offside. As you watch the replay, pretty sure this comes out forward and a knock on, but they were offside, the Magpies, so let off for them.
Looked like the odd leg spinner. And they send it out to the left.
Didn't quite know what they were doing there, the Devils. Get their shape.
Out of hooker. There's Powell. Very impressive in this stint before halftime. Joshua James finds Jordan Riki, winds up straight through the middle.
What sore back is that?
Yeah.
I like to be able to play that good with a sore back. Great try.
It's scary that this kid is, you know, he's under 18. He's got some growing to do. He'll become a better player as he matures, but certainly showing some fantastic signs.
Well, you have a look at this for a run and a step. Just ran on the ball. Defense probably not as good as it should be, but just too big, too strong. Celebrates. But this is what I mentioned before. Like he is landscaping, so that's just pure physical work. There's nothing you can do better than that is to get strong, lot stronger. You know, you can do all the weights you want, but when you go out and do something like that, you're going to be strong.
You'd have to say Jace Van Dyke wouldn't be happy with that defence. I mean, he got the ball 18 metres out there. He probably didn't have any right to crash through.
No, just you probably got to take him low. Someone's got to take him low, and they didn't. They sort of didn't get their body behind him, and those big fellas, you've got to get in front of them. As much as they're probably going to trample you, you need to get your body in front and make the tackle.
And if Pace can convert this for a 16-6 scoreline, you'd have to say Norths are perhaps flattered by that going into halftime.
Yeah, I don't think that the scoreline's definitely, you wouldn't think it would be this because it's been a pretty close game. And just watch the defence here and probably watch the technique that these young fellas just caught, planted the feet, and that's, once you plant your feet, you're in all sorts of trouble, and that was probably the only reason he missed the tackle. And you probably look at that video and go, well, I know what I did wrong there, planted my feet. Next time I've just got to get my body in front.
So can South conjure something in this last 4 minutes?
But we said that early on before the start of the game, Rob, that Norths like to get off to a flyer, and to be fair, they've got a 16.6 to 6 lead coming up close to half time.
Riki again returns after the ball was allowed to bounce once more. You suspect both coaches will be having a word about that at halftime. It's one of the few things you can control in rugby league. A loose ball on the ground, and they're going to give this to South 20 metres out with 3.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Ethan Bullimore will be disappointed in himself there. Again, it's same story as South before, losing that ball on the set after a try. So they've got a big defensive set here, North, whereas South want to be going into half-time with a little bit of momentum, and a try will give them that.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Fifita touching this. There we are. Almost did the same as Riki there, the big palm and through the middle. I'd like to see probably advantage line running a bit more though.
That was my comment I was just about to make. Get back a little bit deeper and hitting it on the advantage line. And give him early ball, big and strong and fast.
Callum McDonald.
Looks like they're setting up for a shift to the left.
Out the back, Tanah Boyd spreads it. Nice play, Arthur. It's Vincent Takataka. Oh, it's space there.
Knock on.
Ezra
Good
Coulston,
defence.
knock on.
Good defence from the Devils. It looked like, for all money, Ezra Coulston was going to score there. He has been dangerous in this game thus far.
And you'd
Great
have to say,
defence.
if Norths do hold the advantage at the end, it has been defence on their own line, which has got them to this position, because they spent plenty of time down here.
Yeah, they have. Really good defence there. Dement and Easthope.
So Paix will feed the scrum, 90 metres out. Will they go for a safety set here?
I bet you the coach is hoping they will. Good
Powell
run.
again.
Outstanding since he's come on, as you mentioned. It's what you want from your reserves when they come on. They make a difference. They don't just come on, they come on and make a difference, and he certainly has.
Yeah, there's that whole saying about the 17-man game. Ooh, Lachlan Lewis, probably not necessary there. You can see him trying to break free here. Tanah Boyd just spending a bit too long there.
He was just introducing himself to him.
Oh,
Didn't
they've got
make
that
touch.
ball. There's one of your coach killers.
Oh, every coach loves that.
A Bit of a loose carry there from Tessie New too. But he managed to hold on. Cruise 10. Oh.
Always looks for the offload and gets it again. Nice ball.
Norse had turned around. It's probably not what you want to see it when you're retreating 10 metres.
Good run from Callum McDonald after a good offload from Cruise 10.
Tanah Boyd. This is the thing about Tanah Boyd. He wears you down. He's a very competitive player like Thurston, just keeps chipping away. Big effort from Callum McDonald. Two big runs in the one set for a fella of that size. And switches to the blind. Fifita's out there, but they've really given him very little to work with. That's disappointing. You could see the look on his face. And it has been contained. I watched him play in the Commonwealth Games 9s that they had at Redcliffe earlier this year. And he was destructive against grown men, so they've done a good job on him here, Norse.
Yeah, they certainly have. And I think sometimes also the more times you use him, the more gas that you're taking out of him as well. So I think some probably use him a little bit sparingly, and then every time then it's a big impact. So yeah, again, I'll just get some shape on their left side, South. But you know, good half of footy, and Norse have come out the first half on top.
So we do see the Devils leading 16 points to 6. I think with Norse, with South, the key to using Fifita is setting him up for something special. A lot of the time they're sending it wide without really having a plan about where he's going to hit. If you had him running those angles back in or running your X plays, your unders, that's where you're going to start to see him be more dangerous and sparingly, as you said.
Yeah, you're right, Rob. You get him running on the inside shoulder of a defender at pace. I don't think anyone can stop him. And also, even just give him early ball in space. Like, so a defender's looking up and got David Fifita coming at him with space on either side of him. That's when it's hard to defend. Anyone can defend pretty much when everyone's close in, close knit. But when you've got space either side of you, you know all of a sudden the doubt creeps in when you've got a big giant monster running at you.
And he does have the weight of expectation, I guess. The whole way through this Meninga Cup tournament, he's been the player that everyone's talked about. His name gets brought up regularly, and people expect him to dominate every game, which is tough when you're only 17 years old.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of pressure. And I think Tanah Boyd, the play before that, a couple of plays before that, he took the line on. That's what he's got to do a little bit more, because then that puts them in two minds. And they think, Fifita's going to get it, but Tanah Boyd goes himself. And we saw how dangerous he is when he runs the footy. And then on the other side, Paul Tiana needs to get that left side going and get some shape, ask some questions out there. They very nearly scored in the corner a set earlier, so they need to go out there more.
I think one of the plays that could work there is out to Tanah Boyd and then looking for the reverse for Tessie New up the middle, because they're going to keep shifting left to cover Fifita, but perhaps leaving that gap around the ruck.
Yeah, you're right. And we spoke about Tessie as well, how dangerous he is. The ones that are dangerous, you need to give them early ball, and you need to give them space. And the more space they got, the more dangerous they are. And unfortunately, we see sometimes good attacking players only getting the play on a set play. Sometimes you need to just give them the ball and let them do their magic. And there's plenty of players in this side that can do that, both sides that can do that.
So focused a bit on the Magpies, but for Norths, who's really played well and who's stood out in your opinion?
Really impressed with Tristan Powell, who's come off the bench. I thought he really lifted them. Yep. I thought Norths they were getting there, but when he came off the bench, I thought he's really lifted his side. Corey Paix, I've been really impressed with him as well. I think he's been pretty dominant in what he's doing, and Josh James has been going good too, controlling that left side. But your forwards and Riki, he was quiet for most of that half, but scored a good try at the end. But I think that they're working hard. Lachlan Lewis is working hard as well.
Both the hookers having good games, aren't they?
Yeah, both hookers. Look, I think they've been two of the better players actually. Jet Trembath for South and Ethan LeBlanc for North. They're just smart, clever players. Nowhere to run, nowhere to pass, and they're good passers too. They're really crisp with their passing game.
So Trembath, even though there's a lot of players here on an NRL contract, I don't believe he's one of them. And he's come through a little athletics background from Jimboomba Little Athletics, and I think he did heptathlons and a few middle distance runs. So he's got an interesting background. Logan Brothers graduate, so South have really been wise in the way they've tapped into that Logan corridor.
Yeah, there's so much talent around, and as for kids, like I think all kids should try a number of sports. I think it's good for your body and your muscles, but just one sport actually helps the other sport. And I don't know about you, Rob, but as a kid, I played every sport. So, one sport helped the other sport. And you just I think it made you better at the whatever major sport you were playing. So it's good to see these other kids doing that sort of stuff. And really, reality, all these kids aren't going to play NRL. In fact, very few of them are going to play NRL. So it's if they're playing Intra Super Cup or if they're playing for their local A grade side, that's what you want. You want them feeding through, but you want them to continue playing footy.
And becoming leaders back in the community, whether they do stick around in Intra Super Cup or, if they go play for their local club down the track, that they become good club men and people that can lead their group and community and pass on that knowledge that they've learned.
And I think that's the most important thing about footy these days. I know when I was a kid how much I come from out Cunnamulla and Charleville, how much travelling my mum and dad had to do to take us to games, to go here, to go there. Our car at times, we had a Tarago at one stage, it was a taxi, for all the footy players. But you respect what they've done for you, and I try and do the same, and as do mates of mine. And I think if you set that example, then people follow. But if you just stand back and let someone else do it, well, that's how clubs fold, and really important to get in, help your clubs and put back into the game.
Yeah, definitely a big believer that the more you put into a team, the more you get out of rugby league. If you're, a lot of young kids will come in and want to be treated like the best, or wonder why things don't go their way. But really, I'd say the experience that I've seen from people that come in is the more you're willing to commit, the more you enjoy it, the more mates you make. It just becomes a better experience altogether.
Yeah, and you don't have to forget that. You go back to your memories, Rob. Your best memories are with your mates and your footy mates and the good times you had. And I was talking to Ryan Gundry, who's ex-Burleigh player who's coaching Crum and Tugun on the Gold Coast, and he's really got a good club feeling there at the moment. Anyone who comes to the club, they've got to be a club person. If they don't want to stick around after a game and hang with the team and their families as well, he said he doesn't want them there. So at the moment, he's got a team full of people who want to be at the club. They'll stick around after the game. They'll come to club functions, and that's how you build a club. That's how you build a spirit in a club, and it's good to see that Gunge's doing that, because we had that when we were at Burleigh together, and we had a really good club spirit there. So Ryan Gundry's taken that to Crummer, which is great to see.
It's amazing the difference mateship can make on the field. It's just those little extras that you'll do for each other, and when things go against you, you don't drop your head or start to kick stones at each other. You just hang in there for each other.
Yeah, well, I saw a good story. Tyson Frizzell, Sir George back row, was saying, they travel at Wollongong. A lot of people live in Sydney, so they ended up getting a bus to take them to training. So, they put in some, they got a sponsor, and so now they all go to training in a bus, the blokes who live in Sydney, he said, and it's created a really close-knit team because they get on the bus and they play pranks and they play games, and they don't get on their phones and that, and they just basically have a ball, and they're always thinking of something new to do on the bus and what pranks they can play. And he said it's really brought the team close together, which you can probably tell in the results that they've got off the field, and that's what it's all about. You look at any good side, they're a close-knit side.
And that team bonding and harmony, these days clubs come from all over the place. It's not like the old days where you might have 13 of the 17 are local juniors. They'll be pieced together from everywhere. So the quicker and the better that you can start to meld them together as a unit, the more that carries over onto the field.
Yeah, I just think it's vitally important, and and the beauty about sport is you're all going to life outside of sport, and as you get older, you all go and do different things in life, and it's amazing how many times you reconnect later in life with whatever role you're doing, and and you end up like a big network and you help each other. And I think that for me is the other beauty of sport, is it's after sport, after footy, you still reconnect in whatever way, and you can help each other out, and that's the beauty of it.
Well, they often say there's 6 degrees of separation, and I maintain that in rugby league there's probably only ever 3. If you know someone who knows someone else, then they probably heard about you or know you from somewhere in the rugby league community.
Yeah, well, I make a point if I'm on a, whatever it be, a bus, a plane or whatever, sitting in a seat somewhere and I got someone next to me, I try and find out if they know someone I know, and I just keep asking questions. They probably think I'm a nosy bloke and going, who is this weirdo? But I just make up a conversation, strike up a conversation, start asking questions, and I reckon 7 out of 10 times I will end up knowing someone, knowing someone the same.
Right, interesting one. When I was younger, I went travelling a fair bit, and I flew over to Hull. Caught a cab out to Cemetery. That's where my family's from. So I was sort of tracing my great-grandparents. And the cab driver said to me, oh, you work with Rugby League in Queensland? I said, yep. He goes, oh, mate, you know Dave Maiden? He's one of my best mates. And I said, oh, yeah, I just work a couple of desks over from him. So, even on the other side of the world, you get that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's even, Mado, we're at the Cowboys together. Then we're in England playing against each other. Now we're back in Queensland and obviously not working together, but we run into each other at the footy, so it's a small world.
A great thing about today too, the man that this tournament is named after, Mel Meninga, he's over there mixing with the fans and with the sponsors. So it's, that's part of the show as well, isn't it? I know in professional sports overseas, those big stars don't come out to the community and mingle like they do in rugby league.
No, it's great to see him, Mel. He's a hero to many growing up, certainly to me. It's great to see him coming here today.
South Logan ready to kick off. They are trailing 16 points to 6. Tanah Boyd will get us back underway when the referees, officials are ready. Nice high kick. Joshua James controls it. I believe that's Powell.
He has been outstanding. Strong.
You couldn't ask for more. His injection has really coincided with Norths getting the upper hand on the scoreboard. So Norths over the halfway. Good position on the first set.
Zach Maguire's on now for Norths, playing at 9.
Yep, so as we mentioned earlier, he's a younger brother of Josh Maguire, who out at the moment for the Broncos with that injury. So Val's the interesting one there. Queensland, a few injuries. Anyone that you'd be looking at in particular?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? Me personally, I'd have Jai Arrow no matter what. I'd have him in my side. I love what he brings to a game of footy. I think his work rate is high. His running game is strong. He's not the biggest fella, but he really powers through what he does, and great attitude, good fella.
He's really in that sort of Dallas Johnson, Billy Moore, Gary Larson mould, isn't he? Just keep going.
Yeah, I like what he brings to what he's brought to the Titans. He just wanted that opportunity to play more footy, and he certainly got that at the Titans.
Okay, so South's in attacking territory. 30 metres out, turns Fifita under. Boyd's calling for the ball again on a short right side, but will he get it? Yes. He's gone to kick through the legs. And
wasn't fifth tackle.
Fifth and last. Fifita into dummy half. Grubbers again. Referee says that's come forward off the hands of Tanah Boyd as it was bobbling around on the ground.
So that wasn't the play you needed. That should have been Paul Karatuana's ball. He should have taken control of that. Got the ball, put a kick in on that open side. You have more chances. So many legs involved in a short space of area. You've got a lot of legs, so you're bound to find a leg rather than space.
So Lachlan Lewis takes the tackle. And Ethan Bullimore follows up. Jack Patterson's taken a few of those runs around the ruck, so he's had a hand not only out wide but also on the edges.
It just makes such a difference when your backs can come in and make good yards when your forwards are tired, and just gives you a lift, quick play the ball.
Here's this man Powell again. Phenomenal effort. And Paix doesn't find the grass. In fact, that is one of those big turning points in a game.
Yeah, Junior for now. I don't know if he wasn't expecting it, but you got to expect the footy, but just went straight through his hands. And that's when you're a player and those sort of things happen, you really want the ground to just open up and swallow you. And it was just a poor mistake right on his own try line. So they're under all sorts of pressure here, South.
It's tough too. Sometimes when you don't see the ball a lot and then you suddenly get thrust into a pressure position right in front of the post, it's not the easiest time to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah, we haven't called his name very much today, Junior for now. But a big defensive set by the whole team is needed here.
Good through an East Hope, who did cross the line last week. Maguire out of dummy half. Oh, that
Close.
is extremely close. Paix. Bullymore. Oh.
Good defence from South.
Bit of shape out the back, and he slipped over the defender there. Patterson, will he gamble here or will he go to his man? He's found Maguire. Dances a bit, but not going anywhere. Patterson in at dummy half. And he'll find Josh James. Spreads it wide. There's Jordan Riki.
Good defence from South.
And again, Cruz 10 amongst that. Just quickly becoming a fan of him. I love those guys who play above their weight.
Yeah, well, that's a great defensive set from South. And I think Junior for now would be thanking his teammates for not allowing a try in there.
Levi Sutton.
And there he is taking a good scoot.
It's good to see him get his hands back on the ball.
That's good. That's what you want to see, young fellas. You make a mistake and just get back on the horse, so to speak.
Wani Suli, and here's
Here
Cruz
he is.
10. Out the back. Picked up Lachlan Lewis, but
I think there was a knock on here from South before that, so he's just played the advantage. And
okay.
no advantage there to South. You see on this replay, it comes off a Norse hand, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, just
okay. James has touched that on the way through.
James. Good run. Cruz to 10.
Maybe the one-arm offload there in traffic might have not been the play. Easy for us to say, though, sitting up here.
Plus, the older you are, the better you become.
I won't kid myself. So South's starting this set from the 40-metre line. And they're over halfway already. Good leg drive, fights in the tackle. Karatuana turns McDonald underneath. You'd just like to see a little bit more leg power from McDonald using that size. Great run up the middle. That's Bailey Bartley.
Got an offload. Bartley, it was a good run too from dummy half.
So he's fed Fanitesi. There's Fifita with the grubber again.
He needs to get that out of his game. I just think it's a 20% play. Like there's so many, as I said before, there's so many legs in a small area. It's hard to find space. Again, someone sticks their leg out. If he takes the hit up there, he's dragged about 4 defenders in there. There's space on the open side.
Totally. It's that unselfish play. You play for the next person after you. So Wayne Bennett was at the ground last week taking a vested interest in Fifita. He's someone that a few people have asked why he's not around the NRL squad more. But you can see from this, you know, even at that age, you've got to learn different things.
Let him be a kid too. Let him be a kid. Let him learn. He'll learn at his right pace.
I believe he's, in terms of age, either he's not allowed to play NRL. He's under that threshold.
Yep.
But he's certainly athletically gifted.
I do believe that it's important when they are kids. Well, good run here.
Great run. Is this Bullymore? Yeah, Bullymore up the middle. He beats the fullback.
beating everyone.
Oh,
Probably could have been a penalty there.
referees let it go from Ioane. Oh. Breakdown in play, but Paix has picked it up. South still recovering to a degree up the middle. So Cruz 10 and Vincent Takataka. Josh James stops the ball. The wind's carried that. That probably would have been a decent kick if not for the wind.
Yeah, they sort of got a little bit lost in that set, but it's and the wind's playing probably a little bit of havoc with the passing game as well, not just the kicking game. You've seen a lot of passes that have gone a little bit wayward.
Yeah, they're coming out of the hands okay and then sort of shifting off their chosen path.
That's South look a little bit tight here. This is a pretty big set here. They really need to get a good kick on the end of it.
And this probably is a period for both teams we're going to see fatigue come into it the next 10 minutes or so.
Levi Sutton, a nice strong run from him.
He's got a really good try for South against Tweed last week and just has that explosiveness.
Runga Iti, he's been strong as well. The runs that he's done since coming onto the park.
Tanah Boyd, great footwork, straight up the middle. Josh James giving chase, Fanitesi. So New goes over for the try. Is that combination of last week? This is what happened as well. Once Tanah Boyd starts to step back inside, New's a great support player and he'll find him off that left shoulder.
And this is when he looks dangerous. But it was a good run here that sets it up. Quick play the ball, gets up, quick play the ball. There he is, the number 7, takes him on. Good speed off the mark, just flies. Knows where his little mate's going to be.
Nice safe
Tessie
pass
New.
too. You can overthink it in that position many times, but 9 times out of 10, easiest option's the best option.
But I put that try down to Runga Iti. He was the one who was a good run, quick play the ball, allowed him to play off the back of that. Tanah Boyd's just hit the express button through the gap and then push the turbo button. Very quick for a halfback. A nice inside ball to Tessie New to put the Magpies well and truly back into this game.
So if Boyd converts this, we're less than a converted try in it. And safe as houses over the black dot. 16 points to 12 in favour of Norths.
And that came out of nothing, really. It was a tie defence, North's defence up the middle. Found that space. Beautiful ball.
And he slams that down triumphantly. And Josh James will get us back underway. Let's see if they let this one bounce or if Souths are confident to take it on the full.
Really important set, isn't it?
Oh, that's out on the full. That's cleared the fence.
Should get extra points for that when it clears the fence. That's a big kick.
If that was an on drive, you'd be happy with it.
I'll be very happy with anything that went straight. And that's what we've seen, isn't it? It's been every time this game, after the team scored a try, it's there's been an error of some sort, and that time we saw it straight from the kickoff.
So with the score there, I believe it should be saying 16 points to 12. Oh, Tanah Boyd, good hands. Tessie. Oh,
Try. Good try.
that's great. You don't even really have to say anything about it. You can hear the crowd. They're in raptures about that.
He's got some good footwork, Tessie. And again, Tanah Boyd, that combination. We're seeing the replay here. Just good footwork. Palm. He beat about 4 or 5 defenders.
And the good thing there, didn't think the job was done. He's come back in to make it easier for his kicker as well, which is very important in the scheme of this game.
Yeah, when he got that footy, it was he still had a lot of work to do, but he's so quick on his feet. Throw and offend. Just watch his replay.
It's a one-handed
ball
grab.
long ball out the back.
Probably defending too deep there.
Wow, talk about a game changing. Kick off on the full. Get the penalty for South after they scored. Straight back down the other end to score their second try in a few minutes.
So this is the 58th minute. And Boyd will line this up. If he converts, South Logan go ahead. And over the back dot. So Boyd converts, and it's 18 points to 16.
Well, it's that same play, isn't it? But they didn't hit Fifita. They're not hitting Fifita now. That's the difference in what they're doing.
And this will be good for them because it gives them the confidence that they can go to other options and they'll have success there. So it's better than that one-dimensional play all the time.
I'd be going to testing you a lot because he's quick. We knew he's quick. We said before the game that he's a danger player, and he certainly showed it there that he can not only beat one defender, he can beat four.
Nice. McDonald picks it up. Kautuana stopped that off the boot, and he's calling for it again. So he's set up Tanah Boyd wide to Fifita.
If he gets an offload here, they're in all sorts.
We saw last week, as I say, Norse led 26-0 and then let Mackay right back into it. So similar script, and the coach would definitely be hoping that they can recover from here.
Bartley's been good too since he's come on the 14. Came on playing hooker. He's been really dangerous.
Certainly a game befitting of a final. This has kept us on the edge of our seats, and the crowd are right into this. So Logan Finn, local Norse junior, Wavell State High kid, returns the ball. Patterson.
Good footwork.
Great. He's got them on the back foot from that play the ball. You can see the advantage line coming into effect. Again, markers aren't there, so they've made a heap of ground in this set. So coming after giving up 2 tries and kicking out on the full, this is the sort of character you want to be shown. Paix down the short side, grubbers through, Cruise 10 cleans up, and he's into space, but met by Josh James there with Bullimore coming over the top.
Well, he's been everywhere today, Cruise 10. He's mopping up plays, he's making runs, he's making yards, offloading, good defence.
It's that sort of Tyrone Peachy instinct for just knowing where the ball's going to be.
Runga Iti, another good run there by him. Playing off the back of that, his play the balls are so quick that allows them to do this
and
to
the
get the
hooker
offload.
gets the ball free, yep. Lance Bagon, he's been steady up the middle. Up Tanah Boyd again.
Thought he was going to take him on then, Tanah Boyd. It looked like he was going to run it, but he opted the kick, probably give his team a bit of a rest.
He's definitely got them in 2 minds now. As soon as he catches the ball, you can see they're not sure whether he's going to take them on or go to his outside man.
And he looks dangerous, doesn't he, when he's got the ball in his hand, and he's so quick off the mark.
And that comes from playing at this good level of experience. He's showing that he knows when to chip away and when to really put his foot down and go for it. It's become more effective as the game's gone on. James feeds the scrum 15 out. And Patterson takes it forward. He's definitely going to be feeling it after this game he's put in. Out of dummy half. So Maguire into hooker now. And he finds Bullimore. Bullimore's hitting his straps in this second stanza. Jordan Riki hanging out the back at the moment. We've seen Bullimore do a bit more in this period. Interesting one there. The referee's called 10 to come back, and you don't know if he's talking about number 10 or Cruise 10.
Oh, good take.
That did not look convincing at all.
I thought the other South player said, no, you have that. I'd hate to be a fullback. Or a winger, even.
So Early's taking some stopping, and they've gotten themselves a get out of jail card here. Oh, a bit of a mouthful.
Don't need to start with all that rubbish.
No. This is where the wheels fall off, and sometimes you end up with pie on your face if you.
Oh, only just escaped the touches of the Norse player there.
For those of you who watched the NRL telecast last night, or the other night where the Bulldogs were playing, that kid with the ball down there, dead set looks like him.
Yeah.
A bit dubious. Riki, strong tackle over the top of Fifita.
Bagan's worked hard today for South as well.
Yeah.
Made a lot of yards.
He's not been the flashy kind of player, but he's done his work. Ezra Coulson, light on his feet. That's, again, one of those low percentage plays towards the end of the set. Tanah Boyd finds Fifita. Oh, and that's opened up for him, but will they hold him? Bullimore's contained him there. He's looking for the offload. Oh. North's looking a little bit at sorts here.
Good defence, Norse.
2 men out wide there.
Brock Dement. I know they get a penalty away, but Brock Dement was a good tackle.
He had to make that.
I thought Bailey Bartley could have gone himself. It opened right up.
Yep.
From the replay just before that pass, and there was space there. It was just good defence.
We saw a few holes open up in North's defence over that set.
And Corey Paix.
The headband duo taking him there in that tackle. Tanah Boyd, Fifita. Big gap there again. That inside defence is starting to become a concern. Magpies up by 2. Looking for the game decider.
Oh, if I can't score on this side, I'll score on the other.
Denied.
Inside ball would work.
Oh! He's just been taken there. Can the hooker get out? Not a great option.
He was in. He could have gone himself. He just needed to back himself. Bailey Bartley. They're laying off him because I think he's just going to pass the footy, but the space is there if he goes himself.
Both teams need a few steady heads to prevail here and take these simple rucks, settle it down, get things back on track. That's exactly what North seem to be doing. They're working down the right channel. Good run, taking the line on Maguire. So we've seen him play like a dual position there, second row, a bit of hooker.
That's a good kick, 40-20.
Oh! There's been some big plays in the second half.
Great kick.
So 40-20 with less than 15 minutes to go on the clock. 2 points in it. Great weather. Can't ask for much more on your Saturday afternoon.
And South are walking massively. David Fifita's only just got onside. They need to muscle up South, and North will really be backing themselves here.
Pendulum swinging in a big way throughout this game. Josh James didn't really get the option he was looking for on the outside, so had to go himself. Looking for the man back inside. That's a good play.
I'd like to see Corey Paix go himself a little bit. He's always dishing the ball off. I'd like to see him take the line on.
Oh, spilt it. Ethan LeBlanc.
Drop out.
Drop out. Interesting. So is a rake.
He's saying they rake the ball, and Ethan LeBlanc was saying that himself. We'll see in the replay here as a...
If he probably picked the other's shoulder on that defender there, it could have been okay.
Yeah. The breeze has just got up even more than what it's been blowing all day.
It's so unpredictable. Sometimes it's swinging over this way towards our touchline, and other times it's blowing upfield.
Just held that ball right up when they've done the dropout.
So North's on the charge. They're down by 2 after being in front for most of this game.
And needs to step this one. Yeah, mate. Hold! Go, 3.
South's not coming off their line as quickly as they were.
Backwards.
He's ruled that backwards. Oh, dangerous play down that touch line.
Go, 4.
Safe play there. Brock Dimon. Let's see if they'll use the width. Paix out to James. Power's charging there. I think they were looking to go to Watini and then back to Power, but he couldn't get that second pass away.
I think they needed something on the end. They needed another little kick on the end of that to try and get a repeat set. Good defence by South.
You can see, look at a number of South blokes with their hands on their knees or on their hips. Feel them blowing heavy, and almost exactly 10 minutes to go.
Go, 1.
Could we have an extra time decider?
Big run from Dakiri. Allows his hooker to get out.
All South set up here. There's our friend Tanah Whakato.
Hold. Go, 4. 17, come 10.
Karatuana. Takiri.
5 last, let him up. Here we are. 17, keep coming. Wait. Go, 5.
Jet Trembath, service out of dummy half. Boyd, no, that looked a little to be a walk around the back of Cruz 10, so, but he needed to get the ball away.
Yeah, they need to get a kick. They need to keep North down right in their territory.
This could be a big play in terms of the tactics. Jordan Riki on for the last 10.
North are in pretty good field position there. We see another good run there from Patterson.
Go, 1.
He's definitely a player to watch for the future.
He's fine. Stand down. Marcus square.
Good run too from Finn.
Go, 2.
Hasn't had much footy today.
Tavita Offengowie, cousin of Bronco Joe.
Hold. Go, 3.
He, interesting, captained the Victoria Thunderbolts, the Melbourne team in the Meninga Cup. And this year he's come up to Norths. Oh, Paix, just looking for that man on the inside, but perhaps wiser to hold that one in.
I think it was. I think they really needed to have something on the end of it. Be it a try or a repeat set.
Levi Sutton, he's shown a willingness to take these runs. Runga Iti. No, sorry, I apologise. That's Junior Finau. Cruz 10.
He's been.
Mate, how does he find this much space?
I don't know, but he gets it. Every time he can get an offload away as well. He's been dangerous.
And that's a couple of times now we've seen Tanah Boyd just play for the sideline. And maybe that's a factor in his players having their hands on hips a little bit, and he wants to give him a rest, the bigger side.
I think it does. I just think it's probably good play gives him a chance a bit of a regroup here. He's yapping away as all good halfbacks do, but just suck in that oxygen. Both teams look as tight as each other, so it's not as if one team's got the advantage. They both worked hard, and there's still a little bit left in this game yet.
Here we go. Outside foot up.
I mean, really, we've got to applaud both sides for an entertaining game. Good display of talent, and whoever wins out of this will play the National 18s Championship next week at Redcliffe.
We're repacking.
Well, that'll be an interesting one, and probably got to give the referee a rap today. Young Swash, he's been, you haven't noticed he's been there. I thought he's been great with his decisions. Really done well.
Yeah, they've had a couple of forward passes and knock-ons to rule on, and I think they've got it right pretty much 100%. Oh, he's stayed down.
Even.
I hate to see this. But first aid quickly out there.
Time off.
And time is off with 12 minutes left on the clock. This is Patterson. Oh, he's just got his neck in an ordinary position there.
Going to hit right on the jaw too with a...
I didn't have anything, but
with his arm accidentally.
Yeah.
And it's because someone's got him around the legs. So as someone's got him around the legs, he's falling into the tackle. So it's no one's fault, just one of those things.
Bit of compression on the way to the ground, but you wouldn't say it's intentional. And he's off head assessment.
He was going to run off the other side of the field, so
It definitely needs the head assessment.
that's probably the beauty I like about the game now. You're taking it out of the players' hands.
Yep.
You know, and when we played, and you know, you just I'm all right, and keep playing on, and it's definitely not good.
Yeah, you wore it as a badge of honour if you stayed on in the
Yep.
old days, but really it's not the wisest play. And we see Riki. He's taken 3 men to get him down. If he can keep this up, he'll be a handy acquisition in this last 10 minutes.
Nine off the ball. Here we are. Marcus square. Stand up. Hold. Go 4.
Out of dummy half. Will they look to inside?
There he
Pace.
goes. He looks dangerous when he runs. It's one of the few runs he's done, and he's split it.
No markers in there. Very slow to get in, so they can spread it wide. Oh,
Go good.
Logan
Oh.
Finn. Not the play they're looking for there.
I don't know why he did. I don't think it was last tackle.
Tanah Whakatau recovers. Fanitesi Nu.
Good run.
So he's an Australian schoolboy from Marsden State High. Ooh, that looked like there was a little extra in
I
there.
think so. Fifita, Offie and Gowie.
Out together. Here. Hold. Go 3.
I'd say they perhaps know each other from before. If one goes to Marsden High,
All the way.
they're from that South Logan district. So oh, no, he's decided that tackle's all right. Joshua James on for feeder. Feeds it wide. Tanah Boyd. Oh, did he kick? No, it wasn't a bump ball. Straight
out on
out.
the full. That's probably
I was wondering there if he'd kicked that straight into the ground and it just bounced up, but not at all.
wasn't what he was after. And but Norse are looking tired as well, and
Go 0.
they need to come up with a big set.
Yeah, both teams need to play out their sets and put the grubber kicks away.
Go 1.
Watini's been strong today too. Every time he's ran that ball, good full work. Always sort of gets half breaks a tackle. Good rugby league name, Watini. There he is again.
Funnily enough, he's not related to Troyden Watini Edwards that come through
Oh,
North.
true.
So yeah, different part of the family altogether.
10 on the way. Here. Hold.
Good run there. North about 30 metres out.
5 last. Stand Paul. Here.
It's a Manasi Kaho.
Go 5.
They need a repeat set here or a try, Norse.
Oh, good.
Tanah Boyd deflects that and he's picked it up. Good
He-
play. He's dangerous
He's
here.
saying-
Release now.
You can see that a few of them are struggling to get to their feet. They're really feeling the pinch in the calves now.
Move together. Marcus square.
Heads down.
Hold. Go 2.
These are those big games. You've got the butterflies in your stomach, 2 points in it with 5 minutes to go, and your body's hurting.
Still moving. Now
Well, South just need to get to a good kick. They need a really good kick, be it into touch, but I'd try and keep it in play
8 up now.
and get it as deep as they can to make Norse come out of their own.
Hold. Go 4.
Yep, they've got the advantage on the scoreboard. Use it. Riki with the strong tackle over the top.
Here we are. Hold. Go 5.
South Logan will play this 40 metres out, and Tanah's on the Tanah Boyd on the halfway. That bomb is, it's a difficult one, but
Good take.
oh, yeah, excellent. He's risen to the challenge, and he's 25 metres off his line, which is a reasonably good position to start a set. Manasi Kaho takes him on that edge. I think they're a little bit short on that right if they can back it up.
Hold. 13 needs a step. 2. 13. You're in front now. Good now.
Oh, solid tackle there. Good defence. But, oh, slips off now.
It's been strong, Dement.
Go 3.
Here's Bullymore. Runs sidewards first, but does find a gap.
Hold. Go 4.
Paix out to Powell.
5 left. Come to me, Dave.
Big play here.
Got to finish this in style. Paix up the middle, steps Cruz 10. Pass to Powell. You don't mind seeing that though, taking on the line and making them work their way out, but time is ticking away. There's only 3 minutes left to play.
Yeah, I think the kick needed to be the option there. Just to give yourself that chance. Now it's got to be a big defensive set for Norse, a really big defensive set to try and
Push off the line.
force the error. Watini's injured there in the background, possibly a cramp.
He's tightened right up. Here's Fifita taking one off his line.
Good run.
Oh, he's leveraged himself off his head there. Tanah Boyd. Oh, forward pass. Less than 2 minutes, 90 seconds on the clock. Bit of push and shove in the background. It's all on the line in this 90 seconds.
Stop worrying about the fighting. You got to defend here. South Norse will be confident backing themselves here. Little forward pass.
You can see the replay here. And back underway. Manasi Kaho.
He's looked dangerous today, hasn't he? In the fullback role.
Big step off the right leg.
Got a late start.
Tristan Powell. Another good run. What are they going to set? Paix looks like he's positioned. He gets the ball. Jordan Riki powers onto that.
Good defence, South. Forced the error.
Oh, push and shove. Riki didn't like that, and then the two front rowers are saying, let's agree to disagree. And the clock on your screen is saying less than 30 seconds. The control centre is saying a minute left.
It's a good strong, but look at that defence. Good strong run, but the defence from South. You got to love the push and shove these days, don't you? It's everyone's tough when it comes to a push and shove.
I see that the new fad seems to be that coat hanger. People grab around each other's necks and try and bring them down to the ground now instead of punching. That South just need to hold this. Trembath into hooker. Will he scoot or will he take a man? Finds Bagan. He's just gone the safety play. They're playing for the hooter. Can only be a matter of seconds away. Cruz 10. You'd like to see him hold it with two hands perhaps on this stage of the game. And relieving penalty, and you'd have to say that's going to go a long way towards...
Yes, there it is. What a win by the Magpies. 18 points to 16 over the Devils, who were undefeated before this game.
Undefeated and leading 16 points to 6 at half-time.
They've got to play the penalty out. You just take a tap, wouldn't you? Oh, you got whacked. That would have hurt too. You watch number 6 right in the middle of the back.
Oh, Karatana. Jeez, you'd be telling everyone to get onside from this penalty. Might tap and run towards the sideline, I think.
I wouldn't be kicking it.
One of the referees was telling me the other day too, if he taps this and throws it into touch on the full like we often see, that can actually be, that comes back.
Time on, penalty, late shot.
Oh, here you have it.
Fifita, put both hands on it. Bullimore's going for it. Oh, he's got it! Stripped it, kicked ahead. Fantastic finish. Fanitesi knew it's cleaned up. Oh, heart stopper.
That is a heart stopper.
And they run onto the field.
Well done, South. Well deserved. Jace Van Dyke. Well done as a coach.
Do feel for Norths at the same time, as say, undefeated through the season, leading at half-time. A really deserving exhibition for the level of under-18 rugby league talent across Queensland.
Yeah, great game of footy. I thought there was some very good players from both sides. I thought they all stood up, and probably one of those games where you didn't deserve to be a loser. But full credit to South and underdogs coming into this game, and they've beaten the Devils.
Let's just see that last play again. Fifita's tucked it, but Bullymore, they left him alone, and Bullymore's gone the one-on-one strip.
Well, he had passed it. He had players unmarked. So South are thinking that he didn't.
Tough position to be in.
Good game of footy. Good, shows some talent coming through.
Might just go through the scorers to finish up. So we did have 3 tries apiece. North scored first by Jack Patterson. And they also had Ethan LeBlanc and Jordan Riki scoring in the first half, with 2 conversions by Corey Paix to give them that 16-6 advantage. But then they were held scoreless in the second stanza. South Logan really found their niche 10 to 15 minutes after half-time. So Cruise 10 scored the first try for them, their only try of the first half. And then Fanitesi New scored both tries in the second stanza. Tanah Boyd, 3 from 3. And they get home by the narrowest, or second narrowest of margins with the conversion.
Yeah, good game of footy. Didn't deserve to be a loser. I'm really impressed with the skill of some of these players, and I thought as the game went on, I thought Tanah Boyd really came into his own. I thought he really stood out for the Magpies, and we talked about Cruise 10. I'd love to know how many hit-ups he would have taken during that game and the yards he would have made, because for a little fella, he certainly, every time he ran, he made a half dent in the defensive line.
Yeah, you'd hope they'd give out fantasy points for half breaks, because he'd be the king of them. We are getting told it's time to wrap up, but thanks for joining us this afternoon at Albert Bishop Park. It's been a fantastic game. Join my co-commentator Adrian Vowles and thank the team here. For everyone else, enjoy the rest of your long weekend, and there's more football coming at you tomorrow. So thanks for your time and enjoy.